Welcome back, everyone, to the Color of Success with Dr. Michelle. I am here today, and we're going to continue the series of skills translation. Today, we're going to talk about the hybrid approach. As I discussed in the project management skills translation video, the hybrid approach allows you as an entrepreneur to sell to consumers and also sell to businesses and corporations. I want to be clear about what this looks like. A lot of us as entrepreneurs sell directly to other entrepreneurs, and we are considering that as a B2B model. It is not a traditional B2B model because you are dealing directly with the owner or the decision maker. The process of selling to other entrepreneurs resembles more of a B2 consumer um, model than more of the B2B. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about the traditional B2B model, which sells directly to mid to large size businesses and corporations, and understanding if this business model is right for you and what you're doing in your business model and your plan and projections. As always, the skills translation sessions are designed to help you to understand how to take a skill set that you have and understand how to translate that into other industries and other avenues to build revenue within your business brand. As we go through this process, we'll talk a little bit more about the B2C and the B2B model so that you can better understand which model works for you and if the hybrid approach is the right approach for you to add into the current business model that you have. Today, we're going to talk about how entrepreneurs can benefit from a hybrid approach. I am Dr. Michelle S. Thomas, as I said before, and I want to ask you a question. This very well could be a game changer for a lot of you. My question is, do you want to unlock full potential of your business by serving both consumers and large corporations? In today's fast paced economy, combining B2C and B2B strategies could be the very game changer that you need for your success. As I stand on stages and speak in small groups and even my coaching clients, I often want to bring a mindset to you to understand when you're in this entrepreneurial space, 90% of us are B2C, which means that we sell directly to our target audience, which is our consumer, the products and services that we offer. But especially in today's time, I want you to really dive into where we are within the economic and the business cycle. Right now, we sit in a trough area and very well could be headed into a recessive period. Now, these recessive periods, unbeknownst to a lot of people, happen often. They can happen annually, they can happen every few months. It depends on the severity of the recession, whether you, as the consumer, will feel the impact of it. I let you know that because as a business owner, it's imperative for you to understand how the business cycle works, what those cycle and how that impacts your revenue flow throughout your own business cycle and your projections. So, my question that I usually ask from the stage or to my clients is if your consumer is sitting within the same economic status that you are, have you considered that they also are seeking ways to pay their bills just like you? Most entrepreneurs are not flushed with cash, some are. As we talked about during the project management, there are some businesses that still consider themselves as entrepreneurs, but they have been given um, venture capital funds, they have bank loans, they have um, savings or a lot of cash that they can utilize to help them scale their business faster. On average, most entrepreneurs are very money conscious about the money and the revenue that they bring in because it's already allocated to help them within their personal bills and to pour back in, hopefully, into the business model that you have. So, having said that, I want you to think about who your consumer is. Who are you selling to? Even if you're selling to other entrepreneurs, are they in the same economic status that you're within? Your goal every day is to sell. Let's be clear about that. Every day that you get up and you turn that computer on or you turn that phone on or you get out there and you're promoting and posting and doing what you're doing, your role is to sell something, whether it is to sell yourself as a service or to sell a product that you offer within your company. If your consumers are struggling right now within this recessive period, they also are going to be very conscious about what they spend their money on. And so what you find is you're in this cycle of trying to gain more customers and gain more revenue, but you're tapping into a market that's tapped out, for lack of better terms. Everyone is tightening the belt. Even when you look at the apps and the services that you pay for, a lot of them are sending you notifications now to let you know that your prices are going to be increased. The rates are going up. Why? Because as a business, no matter what size that business, they are not going to incur the additional costs that it takes for them to be in operation. They're going to pass that cost on to you. And I say that because oftentimes we as entrepreneurs, we're hesitant to do that. We're hesitant to shift our pricing to pass on the additional inflated costs that you're paying to provide the product or service to the same consumer. But it at times becomes necessary. Well, this is why this hybrid approach could be a game changer for you because during these recessive times, you also can have additional revenue coming in or revenue markers that are set to come in and pay out throughout strategically throughout this recessive times. Why? Because corporations and other businesses may have more cash um, in hand, well, will have more cash in hand than what the average consumer will have. Before I get too deep, for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Dr. Michelle S. Thomas. And as I said before, I'm the proud founder and CEO of the Exceptional Woman Enterprise. My mission and vision, my why of why I do this every day is to build equal access to ethical tools, resources, and education necessary to help women entrepreneurs, especially, achieve legendary success for not just themselves, but for the next 6 generations. Why is that important for me? Because throughout my professional career and my corporate career and my entrepreneur journey, oftentimes I listen to people talk about financing is what is the major barrier for us as women entrepreneurs, especially women of color. But although finances is vital for the lifeblood of your business, I believe it starts with access. It doesn't start when you run out of money. It starts with the fact that most of us don't have access to the tools and resources that are necessary to build big businesses. And until we get that equal access, until we get that equal platform, a lot of us are going to continue to circle around in the spaces that are familiar to us. And so, what we do at Exceptional Woman Enterprise is lots of research, lots of testing to make sure that when we do present you with products, services, resources, and information, one, it has been vetted, and two, it yields the results as promised. There is one thing for you to sell yourself. In sales, there is always an avenue of exaggeration, of promotion, of expectations, etc. There are disclaimers about if you don't follow the process or these results aren't guaranteed. All that's true. However, there's a difference between selling to your consumers, even pre-selling to your consumers before you arrive at the status that you want to be, and offering predatory like promises that you already know before you put it out there yields no results to the person that's paying for it. And when I say predatory like promises, I mean you're getting someone to pay for products and services that you either don't have or you have just done a quick fix for it so that you can make some quick money. There's a difference. There's a huge difference in selling and predatory like promises. Do not fall into that predatory like promise. And I will tell you, it is very easy to be tempted to do something like that, especially when your back is against the wall, when your finances are tight, when there are more bills than money. You start looking at all of these great offers and these get rich quick type of processes and what have you. But I will tell you that no matter how quick it tells you and promises that that money is, the abilities to sustain that level of money coming in is almost impossible. Even for the people that are offering it to you, they're offering it and then they're moving on to something else. So don't get caught up in things that um, are over exaggerated, and you spend a lot of money and you end up in a worse circumstance than what you were if you took time out to build the right foundation and the right infrastructure. Now, that is just the advice from the corner of Dr. Michelle. You guys are welcome to decide, make your own decisions, but this is the foundation that I stand upon. Does it mean that everything that I do is perfect? Absolutely not. Have I failed at things? Absolutely. But my job is to make sure that the failures and the setbacks that I have um, received, I pass along to you guys so that you don't have to repeat the same mistake. So let's get into this. The goals for this lesson of today is to go over the strategies for combining B2C and B2B models, resulting in increased profits and market reach. If applied properly, if it works for your business model, you can begin to reap the rewards of the work put into building this hybrid process for your business. I want to be clear about the differences between B2C and B2B, which B2C is business to consumer, B2B is business to business. And these are the four highlights of each. B2C, business to consumer, the first thing that you want to understand is you are selling products and services directly to consumers. That means that you have direct contact with the decision maker and the person that is going to complete the sale. It is up to you to market and sell to that consumer and provide them with exactly what they need to fill the pain point that they have, and you have now transacted a sale. The other quality of a B2C consumer is shorter sales cycles. I teach in my training classes about understanding what your particular product or services buying cycle is. There's a buying cycle, which means that your consumer has a process that they go through before they make that decision. No matter how fast or short that cycle is, you still need to understand what that cycle looks like. And then there is a sales cycle. A lot of times I witness entrepreneurs who don't understand the sales cycle, which leads them to prematurely end the selling of a product or stop a service because they believe that no one wants the product or service, but you haven't massaged the proper selling cycle yet. So Tune in, connect with me if you want to learn more about selling cycle. I don't have time to really dive into it right now, but we can talk about what your particular product or services buying cycle and sales cycle is so that you are better informed about how to strategically place that expectation. Attribute other than shorter sales cycle that you have to understand is high volume sales, which means you have the capacity to sell more items a lot faster because of the shorter sales cycle. So you could very well sell to 50 consumers in one day in the B2C more the B2C model, because it is designed and set up and structured for you to have higher volume sales. The third attribute that we'll talk about is the emotional decision making. When you have consumers that are emotionally charged and connected to the products and services that you offer, you more likely are able to convert that into a sale. So consumers right now are looking for something that will speak to, solve, or ease their pain points. You hear that all the time. So evaluate your products and services and see if it speaks to your target audience, whatever your target audience is, it does it speak to their pain point? And how do you convert that into understanding that your very product, your very service is the solution that they need? The other thing that you have to consider when you're in the B2C model is there's a lot of competitive pricing. As you are selling your products and services, you are surrounded by other entrepreneurs and small business owners that are selling the same products and services. So you have to understand how to evaluate and navigate that competitive pricing. You often hear people talk about pricing yourself into your value, and that's great. That's a great concept. You also need to make sure that you're considering your value. But if you stand tall or strong on that price point and you are not bringing in consumers, or you find that consumers are not buying your products and services, it may be time for you to reevaluate and actually go out and shop your competitors. What are they charging? What's the difference between the offers? What do they have that's drawing customers in that you are missing? What is the missing piece? In these recessive times and economic stress times, consumers are driven by price points. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You could be the most valuable person out there, but it comes to a point in these trough seasons that even the most luxury item um, sellers evaluate their prices. They create sales, they create benefits. They want to do what they can to hold on to those dedicated customers because they want to remain competitive. And the fourth attribute that you want to understand when you're in this B2C market is a lot of times your products and services are being conveyed through e-commerce platforms, online subscriptions, consumer focused apps. That's how you reach your customer. When you have a brick and mortar, you still have a way to market to bring those consumers in, whether it is through the mall that you are attached to, whether it's through your corporate office that your small business is franchised from. There is a way for you to reach your consumer through an e-commerce platform so that they can understand what you have, what sales you have, and how to buy your products or services. Now, on the other side, let's look at what the B2B, business to business model looks like. The first attribute is you are selling products and services directly to businesses and or corporations. And as I said before, sometimes entrepreneurs get lured into believing that you're doing a B2B model because you're selling directly to other entrepreneurs. But if you have direct contact with the decision maker and they're a solopreneur or a single person LLC, and they make the final decisions on it, you are leaning more towards that B2C sales model than the B2B. Why? Because a true B2B model takes a longer sales cycle, which is opposite from the B2C. They have longer sales cycles, and they also bring high value deals, which means you're not going to be selling small ticket items to these corporations unless you're doing it in a bulk fashion. But when you get into this B2B model, you are selling longer sales cycles and higher value deals to those businesses and corporations. The third attribute for you to understand with a B2B model is instead of the emotional decision making, this is more of a rational decision making. These business leaders, these corporations, these stakeholders are there to make sure that it makes sense for them to buy from you. So, keeping that in mind, when you're structuring your sales pitch, you have to remove the emotional side that worked really well for your consumers and move it more into the data, the facts, and the rational side when you're selling to corporations. And the fourth one, there is more of a SaaS solution for businesses, wholesale, supply chains, corporate consulting services. These are the services that you most likely will use to reach that corporation and that larger business. They may not be on your Facebook page. Someone from the business may be on your Facebook page. But if you want to schedule a time to sit down in front of these businesses, the decision makers, and these corporations, then you must reach them through one of those solutions and most likely not through your e commerce platform. The critical differences that I want you to remember, the target audiences are different. With the B2C, you're targeting your individual consumers. You are speaking directly to the buyer, the person who is in search of your products and services. For B2B, you are looking at corporate buyers. 99% of the time, you do not walk in the door and sit in front of the decision maker. You must go through a series of meetings and vetting process before you get, and you may not even meet the decision maker. The decision may come through that sales team, come through that manager or director, um, from the actual decision makers or the stakeholders. The sales cycles are different. The B2C, they're shorter and quicker decisions. B2B is longer and it requires more nurturing. So, when you're thinking about whether B2B model is something right for you, are you in it for the long haul? This is not something that you're just going to throw a pitch at someone and walk away. You have to nurture those relationships. You have to do a lot of follow up. You have to answer a lot of questions. There may be times that you have to go back and represent what your product or service offer is to different variations or stakeholders. And if you're not that person, if you're not going to dedicate that commitment to it, then I would advise that you do not get into the B2B model. The third critical difference is the decision makers. The B2C is the individual buyers. These are the folks that are actually going to buy and use your exact product or services. You are talking to your direct client and consumer versus the B2B. There are multiple stakeholders that are in there. And as I said before, you may not meet all the stakeholders. You may not meet the owner of this corporation. You will meet the representative that is there to discuss the offer with you, but to sit in front of that owner is usually a very rare occasion. The benefits of a hybrid sales approach, diversification of revenue streams. So, combining a B2C and a B2B ensures that your business has multiple revenue streams. Remember when I talked about the sales cycle? So, if you have a B2C model, that is shorter, quicker revenue that's coming into your business. But maybe you land three big corporation deals per year, which has a longer sales cycle. But once that money comes in, it's such a huge impact that it helps to propel your business into another level of revenue streams. Um, the B2C produces daily, smaller transactions, while B2B offers larger, more consistent contracts. So think about the governmental contracts. Think about contracting yourself with a distribution company or a wholesaler that is going to carry your products on their shelves. That has a contractual obligation to it, and that contractual obligation allows you to plan your revenue in a more consistent manner because you know when that money's coming in. Consumers, you are dealing with the market. Consumers, you are dealing with the economy and when those consumers are going to make that decision. The example that I have is that a business that sells an eco friendly product to consumers can also offer bulk orders to corporations looking to make sustainability their goal for their company. And I will tell you, when you're looking at things like this sustainability, when you're talking about these huge models, you want to make sure that you understand when that their buying cycles are and when their planning period is. Because a lot of times when they create their budgets, when they create the projections and the budgets for the following year, that money is already allocated. So you want to be able to get into these decision makers prior to them building that budget so that they can build in the money and the revenue that you're asking for the products and services that you're offering. The other thing for you to consider as a hybrid approach benefit is increased market rate reach. A hybrid model allows you to access different markets, scaling your operations effectively. You can target both mass consumer markets and high value business clients, multiplying your organization. So, the awareness that your organization is out there. What happens because not a lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses can service both hybrid models, the word gets around. If you have a great product and you have a great customer service and you're able to stay and keep up with demand, other companies within that same model, they're going to ask for your products and services. The other benefit that we want to talk about is improved cash flow stability. B2C sales can offer regular cash flow with frequent transactions, while B2B contracts provide stability with long term agreements. A hybrid model balances the unpredictable nature of the B2C that we talked about before with the reliability of B2B. Let's say you set up a contract that you need to deliver a large volume of products to a corporation or warehouse or distribution center once a quarter. Well, not only does that allow you to know when that type of revenue is coming back in, but it gives you more control over your products, over your cost of goods, because now you can plan for the buildup and the excessive volume that you need to bring into your warehouse or into your store system to fulfill that order. Rely on the consumer. It could be seasonal, it could be traffic flow, it could be when sales are happening, it could be when someone's online looking for the exact product or service that you offer. So it's a lot less predictable to be able to manage and project how much cost of goods you have to have or how much inventory you have to have on hand for a certain product or when you need to be prepared for the influx of service requests that you have. The example that I use is retailers selling both to individuals online and bulk orders to local stores. They have an improved cash flow stability because they have the reliability of what happens with that B2B contract. Another benefit of the hybrid sales approach is brand recognition and credibility. As I stated before, if you're able to, as an entrepreneur, as a small business, to service both the consumer and bigger businesses, and your product has value to it, your services are on point. And let me put a pin there for a second. Let me remind everybody, whether you are working from home, if you are working from your laptop, anytime that you are a service based or a product based operation, please make sure that not only just for yourself, but everyone tied to your business understands how critical customer service is. You can quickly, as an owner, lose a lucrative contract if that company is not happy with your service. So, we like money. Look, we like that revenue, we like the big checks or whatever, but oftentimes I find that a lot of entrepreneurs lose these lucrative contracts based on broken promises, based on delayed in delivery, based on over promises and under deliver, or it could be as simple as the choice that you use and how you get the products to them. If your products often come damaged, they come late, the number, you're always short on the requested amount, those things impact when it's time again to come around for that contract, to renew that contract. They will find someone else to fulfill that contract. You can always be assured that whatever contract that you have secure, every single day, there are other companies that are coming in and trying to take over that contract. Even with companies, when corporations are within contracts, they will still sit down and listen to another company because they're smart about it. They want to compare the prices and they want to make sure that they're getting the best deal. So make sure that your customer service and your communication with these large corporations and contracts and even your consumers that you're dealing with is on point, because you don't want that reputation to eliminate your ability to scale and grow your business. Now back to the regularly scheduled program. Um, the example that I use is a health product brand that sells to individual consumers, also provides corporate wellness packages for their businesses, which strengthen the authority in both markets. So that means that the next company, or let's say even a leader leaves the current company and goes to another company, they're more apt to bring you, your company, your wellness company, into their new company and their new line of business, because they're familiar with you, they've tried their products, they understand what you offer, and they can be your spokesperson. And why is this important? Why is brand recognition important? Not just from the surface level, but oftentimes your name and your company can be spoken in rooms that you aren't even in. Oftentimes that leader, that VP, that manager who does have direct access to the decision maker can promote and speak for your brand even if you haven't spoken to them first. So make sure that everything that you are doing, especially when you are stepping into this hybrid approach, is on point so that your business can scale and grow outside of even the efforts that you put into it. And the final thing that I want you to understand as a benefit of the hybrid sales approach is flexibility during economic downturns. I talked about that earlier. Diversifying your client base across B2C and B2B helps cushion your business during economic volatility, because the economy you cannot control. But if you ensure that your business and the revenue that is required to cover your expenses, your team, and the plans that you have for your business is balanced out by consumers and businesses, then if your consumer sales slow down, you still have the contractual obligation from the businesses that you are doing business with to ensure that your business doesn't go under. If consumer demand decreases, B2B contracts can provide that consistent income and vice versa. If something happens in the corporate environment that your industry is in, let's say businesses are starting to lay off or those corporations are scaling back, if you have a hybrid approach, you can take the same products and services and begin to offer it to consumers at a different rate and reap the benefits of the shorter and the quicker sales that comes through consumers. The example that I use is during economic recessions, B2C sales may drop, but B2B customers may maintain their contracts, helping their businesses stay afloat during that recessive time. Now, here's the how. How do you implement this into your business model? The first thing that you have to do is understand your audience. So, the product and service that you offer, not all products and services can be created in a hybrid model. So, understand your audience, research and segment your customers. Who are your B2C buyers and who are your B2B clients? What are their different needs? What are their pain points? And what are their buying behaviors? Back to the buying cycle. Understand the difference between the two before you base your business model on this hybrid approach, because knowing and understanding the need, the pain point, and how they purchase and make purchases will help you better plan on your budget and make you better navigate the expenses that you incur by trying to fill these large orders. As an example, an entrepreneur selling online courses may have individual consumers looking to upgrade skills, but you also have corporate clients that are seeking employee training programs. So, this is something that I do a lot in my business because I am a franchise owner, because I do own corporations, and because I came from 20 years of HR. I spend a lot of times with corporate clients helping their HR department, their operations department go and find the broken pieces for their customer scores or their um, the employee scores, what's making everyone upset, what's happening with the turnover, why is it that they're losing so many employees, why aren't they finding the right candidates. My job as a consultant is to go into that corporation and dive strategically down into the cause, the root cause of the issues that they're having, and then we create a plan so that not only do they come out of that problem piece, but they're able to turn the business around and benefit from the results. So, you want to make sure that you understand the audience that you're dealing with. My corporate clients are different types of clients than my consumer clients. So, you want to know the difference and how you approach both. The other thing that you want to do to understand how to implement this into your business model is tailor marketing strategies for both models. For B2C, you want to use direct digital marketing strategies like social media ads, SEO, email campaigns, and influencer partnerships to appeal to individual consumers. For B2B, you want to focus in on relationship building, account based marketing, ABM, LinkedIn networking, and attending industry conferences to attract corporate clients. I want to let you know that because this is so important for me, to make sure and ensure that entrepreneurs have this kind of access annually, we do a business conference, and the goal is to connect you with those corporate um, businesses, those corporate clients, help you to build those contracts. This year, well, next year, 2025, we have our growth conference expo, which will be in Baltimore, Maryland. So for more information, make sure that you go to growthconference.live and see the growth experience. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are an exhibitor and you want to sell your products and services to these corporate clients, then sign up to be exhibitor at the Growth Experience 2025. Again, happening in Baltimore, so that you can reach the right hybrid approach for consumers that are going to be there and also for the corporations that are going to be there. The example that I used is a fashion brand can run Instagram ads for consumers while using LinkedIn to pitch wholesale partnerships with retailers. We're going to do a class actually on LinkedIn and how you maximize your LinkedIn profile to ensure that you get the results that you need, not just a socialization piece, but how do you secure those contracts through LinkedIn? So stay tuned. You also want to make sure that you create tiered product and service offering. Developing separate pricing models, packages, or products for B2C and B2B audiences. I put that in bold because it is important for you to understand. You may have luxury items and you're so proud of your offers and your products and your services, and you have your target audience and they love to purchase it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that is the price point that you need to convey to your B2B clients or potential clients. Offer high volume discounts, subscription plans, or enterprise level services for B2B while maintaining competitive prices and convenience for B2C. You see the difference? You want to make sure that the more volume, you want to get them into the space of understanding the value of high volume discounts. If you go with me, then this is the amount that we can give you for this amount. But when you're looking at convenient consumers, you want to make sure that you are marketing the convenience of coming to you, the pricing, the competitive pricing, but the execution of how fast I can get this product to you that exceeds your expectation. A SaaS business offering monthly subscriptions to individual users while providing enterprise solutions with custom pricing for B2B clients. The other thing that you want to consider is to develop a scalable sales infrastructure. Implementing technology and processes that support both B2C and B2B sales will actually save you money. Tools like CRM systems, Salesforce, HubSpot can track leads, automate communication, and streamline both sales processes for both. So you don't have to have two different operating systems, but you want to make sure that if you're going to invest into these CRM systems that you evaluate, can it handle both avenues? There are some CRMs that cannot. So you want to be sure. And how do you know that? When you're delivering large volumes and you have to go through multiple decision makers, that CRM must be able to delegate that type of tiered process into the CRM so you know where you are within the buying process. If your CRM doesn't give you that ability and you want to have this hybrid approach, you want to consider to evaluate some of the larger platforms and be able to manage the scalability of you entering into another CRM. The worst thing to do is to make a quick decision, find your CRM, and then as the orders start coming in, find out that your CRM can't handle it. Orders are being missed, communications are being dropped. Throughout this lead process, there are steps that are being missed. Again, go back to that project management certification. This will help you to better navigate how to structure and evaluate the right systems for you to do this hybrid approach. My example is e-commerce platforms that can handle individual consumer transactions while also managing bulk corporate orders. And again, the worst thing to do is to secure a government contract or a large contract and you aren't able to deliver because your system can't handle it. You don't want to do that. You also want to make sure that you build a cross functional team. This is critical because not everyone can handle corporate sales. There is a different approach when you are looking at not only just the marketing, but the sales process from B2C to B2B. If you are equipped to do this, then you can train them. If not, connect with me, connect with other trainers that can help come in and train your team on understanding how to navigate between B2C and B2B. But training your team to understand both B2C and B2B sales approaches is critical if you're going to do this hybrid model. Each segment will require different skills from quick response customer service for consumers to a consultative sales approach for business clients. Um, Oftentimes, I see people jump into this hybrid model prematurely. And as the sole proprietor or the single owner, they feel like that alone they can handle it by themselves and they quickly get themselves in over their head. So, you want to make sure that you understand yourself what this process looks like because even onboarding and bringing in a sales team to help you, you as the owner still have to have enough knowledge to ensure that you can evaluate how they're working for you and if it is efficient and is actually yielding the results that it should. Being with a professional trainer will help you to better understand yourself so that you can convey the expectations, the measurables, and the deliverables for your sales team so that you don't drop the ball or lose that contract due to the inability to complete the process. So, your sales rep may focus in on closing deals with corporate buyers. That's your sales rep. That's what they focus in on. While your marketing team can focus in on attracting individual consumers. There is a different approach. There is a different way to communicate. There is a different way to reach and connect with this audience. For our recap, the hybrid approach, you want to make sure that you understand the economic value of it. Revenue driver during economic downtimes is one of the biggest benefits of having a hybrid approach. You cannot control the economy, but what you can control is how money comes into your business. So the hybrid approach has an economic value for your business. B2C and B2B require different approaches. Each require preparation and planning prior to implementation. That means, is your CRM system, is your sales system, is your delivery system set up for it? Do you have a team that can handle both sides of it? Are you as the owner, are you trying to navigate too many pieces and you're missing the mark? Especially when you're in that negotiating process, when you're in that lead magnet or that lead process with a corporation and you aren't answering the emails, you aren't giving them the deliverables that they're asking for in a timely manner, remember, you're not the only one pitching. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. You have a team that can handle your consumers and their needs and their reviews and any setbacks or barriers that happen with the consumers, but you also have a sales team or someone that can focus strictly in on the client approach for your corporation. You want to know the costs attached to both systems, teams, time. Each one of them takes time. Remember we talked about the sales cycle. So if you need money quick, then being relying on this B2B process to deliver instant money to you is not a smart choice. So you want to make sure that you have the time to massage those relationships, to follow up. It takes a lot of follow up. Make sure that you are speaking to the right people or you're carrying yourself and approaching this process so that you do get in front of the right person. The worst thing to do is to spend 6 months speaking to a bunch of people and none of them can help you convert that contract. So you know how to ask the right questions. You understand how to approach this. But finally, I want you to be honest. Just because this is something that can bring you great money does not mean that is the right approach for you, your ability, and your capabilities for your business. It doesn't mean that you cannot grow into it, but be honest with yourself. Evaluate where you are, evaluate where your expenses are going. If your business is already cost stretched, then trying to bring in this hybrid approach right now will not be as effective because you're not able to buy the right systems and take the time out, especially as a solopreneur. You're out, you're in those offices, you're on the phone, you're having these conversations. Well, if you are by yourself and there's no one handling the consumer side, you're going to lose that business too. So let's be honest with ourselves. Again, this is one of the things, the promises that I gave to you. I am not here to sway you either way. My job is to make sure that you have all of the information necessary to ensure that you make an executive decision that is beneficial to not only you, but to your business. So that's my time. I appreciate you guys hanging in here. And as I asked before, if this resonates with you, if this helps you, just please subscribe and make sure that you share this with someone else that you know might need that information. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on our next episode of the Skills Translation. I again am Dr. Michelle, and thank you for subscribing to The Color of Success.